everyone, welcome back to the Magpie Channel TV. We've got the big game this Sunday, which requires big guests. So I've had to call upon my good old mate, Big AGT, from the COP TV. How are we doing, sir?
Yeah, here we go. Mate, love it. Great to be back on, bro. Thanks for having me.
Mate, good to
Always
see
a
you, man.
pleasure.
It's a
Always a
shame.
pleasure.
It's a shame I haven't seen you well on the old Dale
I
Sports. We
know.
used to rock that Saturday football show, but we'll be reunited soon.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, not this weekend. You're not making your way up, are you?
No, mate, I'll be in London. I was actually chatting to Fuad after the show the other day, and he was like, Mount Rushmore of the Saturday football show is you, Matty, me, and Matisse. And I was like, bro, they were the peak. They were like Shearer, that was Shearer in his prime, that lineup there. So yeah, man, listen, I'm sure we'll bump into each other soon enough. We're in this game for a long time, hopefully, touch wood. So I'm sure we'll cross paths many, many times, mate.
Oh, that's it, mate. We'll be doing big Champions League final previews in a few years, mate. Don't you worry about that.
Oh,
yes.
So shout out the Geordies each and every time. Apart from the Scousers, they're my favourite people in the country. I'll give you that.
The thing is, mate, right? This weekend, this Sunday, people are taking it, and I've got it in the title there. People are getting a bit personal, seeing as a bit of a feud with Klopp, with Howe. Klopp with these digs about Tyndall and stuff and all that, and he's never, you know what it is, mate? I used to really like Klopp when he first came to the Premier League, right? I thought he's charismatic. I really like his style of play and everything else, but he just seems like he's a bit stressed now, a bit agitated to me. Since the takeover's happened, he's had a few digs at Newcastle, mate. I don't know what's happened. Does he not like Brown Ale? He hates Bridges. He's been giving out digs to Newcastle since the takeover. You've seen all Newcastle. Great for them and all that. No ceiling for them now. Unfortunately, with FFP there is, and then with the Tyndall stuff last year on the sideline at Anfield, and then this year with the new rule where Tyndall and Howe can't beat together. I've moaned about it. Geordie's have moaned about it. People are looking forward to hopefully shutting up Klopp this weekend. Turkey teeth. What do you think about it from the Liverpool side of things?
Mate, you have to admit though that the whole Tyndall thing is hilarious. Like
he loves it. I was talking to him about him in pre-season. Tyndall loves it.
Yeah, of course, but it's hilarious. Like it's David Brent-esque, like how much he wants to be the main guy. And do you know what? I rate how much Eddie Howe backs him as well. Whenever he's asked about it, he says, "Look, we've worked our whole careers together. He's a great guy." Like I rate that. That's the kind of partnership you want. But it is, you have to admit, it is funny. The whole Tyndall, like going to shake someone's hand before Eddie Howe's done it. Like it is very funny. And I think Klopp was having a little pop at that. But he knows, bro. Listen, he knows in terms of atmospheres, in terms of fan bases, in terms of, a city with one club. There's definitely respect there, 100% with Klopp. And listen, he's had some bad days. I think his first day at St. James's as a Liverpool manager, you battered us. We've been, a lot better in recent years, but it's always been close. And I think, Klopp, other managers that talk about Newcastle, it's almost from a place of, I wish that happened to us. I think there has to be that injection of cash that you guys have got. And you know what? If there was one club that I could have personally chosen to have that, it would have been Newcastle because of the pain that you've gone through, the suffering with the shit owners that you've had. You've been through the mire. So I think now that you're fighting on all fronts, there is going to be a bit of jealousy, but there's also big respect there between Klopp and Newcastle as well. So I know you guys have maybe had a little pop at him, but he doesn't do that to people he doesn't rate. So maybe take it as a bit of a compliment.
Maybe we should, I suppose. Like maybe a bit like Fergie, and we used to pop at Keegan and Wenger, and that. It was because it was a battle, wasn't it?
If he was irrelevant, if you were 18th, 19th, we wouldn't even be speaking about you.
Yeah.
So the fact that you're in everyone's mouths, mate, must mean that you're doing something well. So big up, I guess.
Right. Well, that's hopefully he's just taking it as like a. Do you see Newcastle as a big threat now to Liverpool, to the top four? I know obviously we finished above you last year, but one season, can we you think same again this year?
This is not just a fluke, Newcastle getting into the top four next season. I fully expect you. And now obviously it's top five, isn't it? So it gives everyone else a bit more of a chance. But this is not a fluke, because if you look at when Eddie came in, I've been watching the documentary. I've been glued to it. I love it. If you watch that, you'll see that this isn't just a decent run of form. This has carried on now for the last 18 months. You guys have been unreal.
Yeah.
Did he in January 2022, was it? Yeah.
Yeah, before that, just before that, yeah.
or like December, November
November
kind of
time, I
time.
think it was, yeah.
Yeah. So if you look at your form since then, like it's definitely not a fluke. So I'm a big believer in Newcastle's vision. I think they've got the best manager at the helm to do what they need to do in this time. Listen, in 5-6 years, you never know what manager's going to be there, but you've kind of done it all perfectly so far. So do I think Newcastle are a threat? Absolutely. And they will be. And I expect them to be now until, I don't know, forever. You know, the thing is with you guys, you can't, this is the key season for Newcastle because you've shown how good you are. Now it's about, well, actually, can they have a decent run in the Champions League? Can you go on further and win a cup? Can you go one further and finish third? Can you be involved in a title race? These are all the questions that are going to be asked of you guys this season. And I wouldn't say there's a rush, but just carry on what you're doing, bro. There's no, sometimes your goal in life should just be carry on what you're doing. And I don't think Newcastle are getting ahead of themselves. You've got the squad there. It's unbelievable now, really. The depth is unreal. So just carry on what you're doing, mate. And I fully expect you to be there or thereabouts in the next 4 or 5 years, 100%.
Our squad depth, like you said, has improved, mate, this summer. Yours hasn't. Obviously, that's why Klopp is obviously angry about it. You know, upset, maybe worried to going forward with it. I think you've got the thinnest squad in the Premier League, haven't you? 23 players, is it?
And 3 of them are goalies, yeah.
So you know you brought in that
yeah.
Endo in midfield. You've obviously missed out on your Lavias, your Caicedos. Are you going to sign another midfielder? What's it looking like a week ago in the transfer window?
Right, so we've got a week to go. I did a video on this last night with Mario. We're looking at Decore still, but the price is mad. They want 80 mil.
What?
We're looking. I know it's mad. I'm saying, like, I think they bought him for not very much last year. Could we slap down a little 50, 60? Because the frustrating thing for Liverpool is, you know, we go, oh, 80 mil, that's mad. But if you actually think the 110 mil that we bid for Caicedo, 115, take away 20 for Endo, there's 85 there left. And the worst thing that could happen, and I think there'd be riots if this did happen, is that we now don't buy anyone after we've shown our hand with all this money. So a week to go. Been linked to this Andre Trindade kid in Fluminense. They don't want to let him go till January. We've had a 30 mil bid rejected. Been linked with Gravenberch from Bayern Munich, 25, 30 mil. So, you know, we don't leave this window now with nothing else. You know, if you're going to go to a house party and you get kicked out, leave with something. Nick a pint glass or something. Nick a bit of food for the journey home. We don't leave here with nothing. We have to get something. And then I think it's too late to even get a CDM and a centre-back now. I don't think we get both, which is what we wanted at the start. But if we get another midfielder, I think that's 4 midfielders we've brought in. Obviously, Keita, Ox, Milner, Fabinho, Henderson have all left. Oxlade-Chamberlain. So that's 5 or 6 there. So 4 is the minimum. So I can't see us not getting one. But then I also wouldn't be surprised if we didn't, knowing the owners. So, bro, it's getting to like, not panic stations, but again, we'll see how we get on Sunday. But we have to get one more. There's no point in being linked to all these players for 6 months. I've been doing rumor videos for the last 3-4 months now. Honestly, mate, like we've got to get someone. It's not even we need it. It's like we have to now. And shout out to Endo as well, bro, because I think he's one of the players that underwhelmed with. And I don't think that's necessarily fair on him when you look at what he's achieved. Captain of Japan, I watched them in the World Cup. They're unreal.
I was going to say, have you actually heard him before? Because I haven't. But
I haven't.
You've in the flesh. Oh, you? Well,
I've seen him in the flesh, but I can't lie. At the time,
he didn't take
know we could do with him. He's 30 years old. He wears a gum shield when he plays, so you know he's got that dog in him.
Why does he do that?
Just because he's hard as nails, mate, isn't he? So, so yeah, I'm a big fan of his, but let's see how he gets on. What a test this is for him on Sunday, man.
Reckon he'll jump into the team then, yeah?
Well, listen, he wasn't expected to come on against who did we play the other day? My mind's gone blank. Bournemouth. He wasn't expected to come on 68 minutes. He's getting ready to come on. McAllister sent off. We get the 3rd goal, and that gives him a bit more breathing space. But his first involvement was a smashing tackle, and the ball was flown off. So that's what we like, man. So if he plays in this one, I wouldn't be surprised. But then Stefan Bajcetic had a great game against you guys last year. He's fit again. Thiago's now fit. So even though we've not got any depth really, the 5 players that we could bring on are the likes of Gakpo, Jota, Bajcetic, Thiago, Tsimikas. So there's still a decent bench there, bro. So we still need another player though, for sure.
The big talking point this week so far in the build-up, this is Thursday morning we're doing this, is that obviously Alexis McAllister's red card has been overturned. And I'll be honest with you, it's the right decision. You know, I think a lot of Newcastle fans were hoping that was going to obviously stay as a red and that would be a loss for you in midfield. But it's the right call. I mean, it was a dodgy call at the time. The red card, it should have been given. It's a big boost for you, that, isn't it, concerning with the midfield issues that you've got?
I think it's a great boost for us because he's maybe the one player that I've been most excited to see. Again, I saw him at the World Cup. What a guy. What a technician. The fact that we've got him for 35 mil is an absolute steal. But I would argue this decision of getting it rescinded, it's not just a win for us. That's a win for the whole league, bro. Because that's now set a precedent to say, you refs, you mess up every single week and you're not getting away with it anymore. If you make a bad decision, you're going to have to reinstate or rescind the ban. So I think, bro, if you get a dodgy decision, now the line's been set. Liverpool got that rescinded with McAllister. So I think now this could actually be a good thing for the rest of the league because our refereeing is so bad, which it shouldn't be. But because it is so bad, this is now shown that, listen, they are open to actually going, sorry, guys, we messed up on that one. So I think this is actually a win for everyone now.
I really hope this game on the weekend isn't decided by any refereeing decisions or any VAR drama. I mean, it's bound to because it's Liverpool, Newcastle. You know, it's Newcastle, Liverpool. It's a classic fixture. Last year we had the Pope sending off right before the cup final. At your place at Anfield, we had the last second goal by Carvalho, 99th minute, whatever it was. So there's always a bit of drama in this one. There's always goals. There's always entertainment. How are you feeling heading into it? You've got off to who did you play first game again? Obviously, you beat Bournemouth last week 3-1.
Chelsea away, didn't we? 1-0.
Chelsea away 1-1. That was a great goal, by the way. What a ball that was from Salah for that goal.
The whole move.
And that's the thing that worries me with this fixture. We'll get into score prediction soon, and make sure you check out the COP TV as well. Alex has named his Liverpool lineup in that one, and we're going into other details on that as well. But for this one, you've had a draw and a win. Newcastle have had a big win and a narrow loss to City. Are you confident coming to St James's Park? Obviously, Liverpool for me seems to be like a kryptonite for Newcastle. No matter how well we're playing or what's happening, we can never seem to beat us. It's a bit more so at Anfield, I suppose. But I think the last win at St James's Park in the Premier League was 2015.
Yeah, so I can't believe that. That's a shock. And I think that was the game Gini Wijnaldum scored a couple against us.
And that's the scouts were like, right, we'll have him then. Yeah. Didn't last much longer.
Yeah. No, listen, it's been a while since you guys have beaten us, which in my head, because everyone's just so aware of how hard it is to go there, that's a big surprise. My first ever experience of going there, we lost 3-1 in 2010. I was 16. Andy Carroll scored 2, and then we went, we'll have him as well.
So this weekend, right? So next summer, basically, you're going to put in a 200 million bid for Isaac. That's what you'll be doing next summer.
Essentially, that's exactly what we're going to do, mate. Yeah.
You're going to be turning you down, you cunts.
Yeah, basically. Cheers. But no, what am I expecting? I'm expecting a massive atmosphere, bro. Sunday at 4:30. You've got enough time there to get down the pub, get a few drinks in, and sing your hearts out.
Pumphrey's, get yourselves to Pumphrey's, Newcastle fans. I'll be there pre-match chat again. So Pumphrey's in the big market. Carry on, mate.
Love that. Get down to Pumphrey's. Pumphrey's, yeah?
Pumphrey's, mate.
Nice. Get down to Pumphrey's. I'll get you a Guinness. So yeah, tough game. Tough game. The way you guys play, it's really expansive. You're looking to get in behind. You're pouncing on mistakes. So it's obviously going to be a tough game, but we have won the last 2 there. And as you mentioned, however Newcastle play in a great way, we always seem to come and do something. So can we make it 3 in a row? It's a big question, but I almost wouldn't be surprised if it was a loss, win, or a draw. Does that make sense? Like,
yeah, it's unpredictable.
Yeah. I mean, you're obviously going for a Newcastle win. I'm going to go for a Liverpool win. But any scoreline wouldn't surprise me. But I think the key last year was obviously the Pope sending off. That was massive for us. Would we have had the same result if he got sent off? I don't think so. So again, I'm with you. I don't want a big red card. I don't want a big VAR decision. Let's just have a good game of football and let's see who comes out on top, man.
For me, and looking at the Newcastle lineup, obviously Pope will be in goal. Let's hope he plays the 90 minutes this time.
Yeah.
Trippier at right back before, Tino Livramento is going to work his way into that. Centre backs, Shaw and Botman as always. Left back is a big call.
Oof.
Lewis Hall, I think it's too early for him to start. I don't think after only being at Newcastle for a few days or a week that he won't play. I mean, could he chuck him in the deep end? Yes. I mean, Lewis Hall played against Man City away last year for Chelsea, did very well.
Yeah.
Made his debut for Chelsea at St James's Park last year, did well. So he could. It's an option. Probably too soon though.
I'd put him in. Why not?
Yeah, you chuck him in. Honestly, I would, mate, as well. I would. I just think
Because you're
anyhow might be
thinking,
it.
because you've
Yeah,
got
I
to
think
think like Salah against Dan Burn or Salah
night.
against Lewis Hall.
Yeah, gives me sweaty panic attacks, mate. That, to be honest with you, and Dan Burns probably shitting himself in his smart car as we speak. But I think he should be. It could be Lewis Hall chuck him in, but I'd be
Livramento
surprised.
plays left back as well, doesn't he?
Yeah,
Or he can play.
this is the thing now with Eddie Howe. It's there's options in midfield. There's options. Does he go with Tonali, Bruno, and Joelinton again? I'd assume so, but could he consider chucking Sean Langstaff in just for a bit of sturdiness? Know what he's going to do, cover some ground against Liverpool. Obviously, Willock's still injured. Anderson obviously had a fantastic pre-season as well. He's on the verge of getting a start for Newcastle, his boyhood club. And then the front three, especially on the left wing, is the challenge. Do you again go with Anthony Gordon, who's had a fantastic summer with England at the Under-21 Euros, play at the tournament? Yeah. Obviously, blue side of Merseyside for him. He would love to bag against the Reds. Imagine that would cause some scenes, wouldn't it? And then Isak or Wilson down the middle, because Isak started the first couple of games. Does Callum Wilson get a shout? He's got a good record against Liverpool. And then on the right, Almiron or just Murphy come back in, who's just had a baby boy as well. So he's ready this week after missing the trip to Manchester last weekend. There's lots of decisions for Eddie Howe to make. Harvey Barnes has got a state to claim, obviously. I would just say that I think you'll go and change it again. I think you'll play the same team he's played in the first two games. But any of those changes I've suggested could be made, and I wouldn't be angry about it.
What's happened to Almiron's kind of form recently? Because last season he started off absolutely on fire. He scored like 10 in before Christmas or something.
Yeah, and then he tailed off a little bit after the World Cup, and he had an injury, and then he finished the season strong. Yeah. But he was crap against Man City. I thought he was really poor. He's seen a lot of the ball, but his decision making sometimes isn't there at all. There'll be someone, he'll give the wrong pass, he'll make the wrong call instead of just diving at someone. Even he's got pace, he'll hold the ball up and allow players to get back. He's very hit and miss for me, Miguel Almiron. Some days he's fantastic and he's got a good finish on him. Other days it's like he's lacking self-belief to go for it, take that player on, make that through ball. So hopefully he can. We've seen what he's capable of. It's just on a consistent basis. So yeah, that's a part of the area where Newcastle fans wanted us to strengthen this summer. The right wing, obviously Diaby, who went to Villa, was heavy linked, but we just can't spend all that money yet, unfortunately. But I think Almiron's still a very decent player, especially what he brings to the team. So yeah, mate, it's going to be tough calls for Eddie Howe. Alex has named his side for Liverpool over on the COP TV, so check that out. But just finally, before getting the score predictions, mate, I am going to back Newcastle to win this one. But I will say the worry for me is I think our defence can match yours at the minute. I think our midfield is better than yours at the minute. Your front three is just silly, though. Like, if Diaz and Salah are on form, you've got Jota there, you've got Gakpo there. Darwin scored a fantastic goal against Newcastle last year at St James's. The worry for me is, yes, I'm confident going this game, but you've got game-changing players that, in the blink of an eye, can score a goal and change everything.
And that's the thing with Liverpool. I think a lot's been made of the defence, of the midfield, but there's not really anything you can say about our front. I'm going to say 6 because you've got, on the left, you've got Diaz or Jota can play there. Through the middle, you've got Gakpo or Nunez. And on the right, you've got Salah and Ben Doak. I'm chucking Ben Doak in because of how exciting he is as well.
He's an academy product there, is he? I've never heard of him.
Academy product. No, I think we actually got him from Celtic when he was 15. Massive talent. Like, I've seen him for his debut last year. He's one of them kind of small, tricky players that will face you up, step over, and he's gone past you. And he's like an old school winger where step over, get past, cross. That's in his head. That's all he needs to do, which is actually quite refreshing because obviously Salah likes to come inside on his left, whereas Doak can just go for it. So I think a lot's been said about the midfield and the defense, but our attackers can still, as you said, change any game at any time, bro. When you've got Salah putting them little outside of the boot through balls in for Gakpo or Jota or Nunez or Diaz, it's a scary sight, mate. But it's all about, can we get the ball to them in dangerous positions? You're going to have to cut off McAllister, because we saw against Chelsea, one look up, pings a little 50-yarder out to Salah, we've scored. So that's the key for you. And I think him playing, first of all, just playing is a great bonus for us. But him not being in the six, because you're probably going to have Endo there, it allows him to actually be a bit more creative and look up and not be that destroyer that he was against Chelsea. So if you cut off the source, you could be in for a good game. But if you don't, as you know, bro, it can change like that.
And a big thing that Newcastle fans need to look out for on Sunday as well is obviously Szoboszlai, who was linked with Newcastle for so long, ends up signing for Liverpool, and he's got off to a flying start, hasn't he?
Bro, I'm so excited by this guy. Man of the match on his home debut the other day, was involved in all 3 goals, real ball carrier, is not afraid of running and trying to take people on. I think him and Salah have already got this nice little connection, because if you think about it, on that right side, you've got Trent, obviously, who's playing it into Szoboszlai on the also right CM, and then he's looking for Salah. So that right-hand side, bro, with Trent, Sobo and Salah, scary. Listen, number 8 for Liverpool. Obviously, the connections are there between, you know, who wore that shirt at Liverpool, and I'm not going to make those comparisons now. But what I will say is, great runner, great shot on him, great free kick, great penalty, captain of his country. There's not really much that he doesn't have. It seems like he's a great guy as well. I mean, 3 years ago when he was playing for Leipzig, I think he said he'd love to work with Klopp one day, and he got his move, man, for 60 mil. I think we could look back and say what a bargain that was. So
Yeah,
I think, you know, again, but looking at your midfield, Tonali, great start. Bruno, what a player. Joelinton, reborn. So this midfield battle, I think, is where the game's won and lost, man, because you guys have got an unreal midfield who have actually played together, apart from Tonali, but Bruno and Joelinton have played together every game for the last 18 months. Pretty much, haven't they? So you've got that energy in midfield. They know how to play together. But I think naturally, when you put a McAllister and a Szoboszlai, and they don't need time, bro. They're that good that they just get on with it, you know? So I'm a massive, massive, massive fan of both of them, and I can't wait to see more of them, man.
I think he's definitely going to score this weekend, unfortunately. And I think Bruno may have a point to prove as well, the haters that were trolling him a bit on Twitter the other day. Going to be a big one. I'm going to go for a big 3-1 Newcastle win. What are you seeing, EGT?
What was it, 2-0 last year? What was the year before? What was it? Let me think.
3-1 to you, was it?
3-1, yeah.
I think.
I think you'll score.
No, I think it was 2-0 the year before that as well, because me, you, and Doyle did it.
Doyle
did watch along at the on, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. Yeah,
1-0 or 2-0.
Yeah. The problem is, if you score in the first 15 minutes, it could be a really long day. It's the same thing I say to people that come to Anfield. It's like, if we score first 15 minutes, it's peak. You might as well head for the turnstile. But if you score first 15, I'm going to be absolutely shitting myself. But let's say if it's 0-0 at half time, I'd go for us to nick it, maybe 2-1. Very, 2-1. Very hard, very close. No easy game for either team, though.
No.
Actually, one of the best games to watch in the Premier League, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely is. Like, it's a big one. I'm buzzing for it, mate. I can't wait for it. I'm so excited. It's one of those ones where it's a big test for Newcastle to see, can we stay up there? Can we beat the teams that are in and around us chasing top 4, you know? So it's a huge one on Sunday.
I think Newcastle over the years have had great wins against Chelsea at home, Man United. But I think we said it on my preview, there's just that little unticked box. Can you go and beat Liverpool and City? And I think if you can start, I know you lost at the Etihad, but if you can get that big, because it was 3-3 at the St. James's against City last year. If you can beat them, if you can beat us, then the conversation really starts ramping up then, because again, you can go and beat, with all due respect to these teams, you can go and beat the Arsenals, the Chelseas, the Man Uniteds, but there's just that unticked box against Liverpool and City for you guys. So it's massive.
And I know Eddie Howe and Tyndall in particular would love to get one over on Jurgen Klopp.
I'm sure he would. And it'll be interesting to see the handshake between Klopp and Tyndall. I don't think they're allowed to do that anymore, are they?
Oh, well, Tyndall did it with Pep at the Etihad. Like, he was straight in there, mate. Straight in there.
Get out of the way, Eddie. Right, Pep? Sweet. Little beer? No worries. No.
Glass
I'm
of red.
not the manager. Oh, fair enough.
Glass of red, me and you tonight, Pep. City Manchester. Lovely. See you there.
No, we won't have Eddie. Just me and you.
I haven't told him about it. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Right then, mate. It's been an absolute pleasure.
As always.
I can't wait for Sunday. I'm sure we'll be sending each other a few voice notes, and one of them will be rubbing it in on Sunday. I really hope it's me, because then I'll tune into the Monday roundup on DR Sports as well on Monday morning to make
tune
it
in regardless.
We'll be tune in, and everyone else always tune into DR.
No, I remember when you were at Anfield last year, you were in the away end, I was in the Kop, and we were giving each other mad belters during the game, weren't we?
we took the lead now, and then we had that. We could have went 2-0. I didn't speak to you for about a week, mate. I was fucking hated you. Unfollowed you on Instagram and everything. Right then, bro. It's been a pleasure. Make sure you just check out the Kop TV, the best content going for Liverpool, and Alex himself. He's the top bloke, top presenter. See him on DR Sports, one of the best in the game, if not the best. Always working hard. So it's good to see you, bro. And best of luck after Sunday for the season.
You too, mate. All the best. Yeah, we'll see you in the Champions League, son. Hopefully.
Yes. Yeah. Take it easy, everyone. See you on the next one. Bash.